Hello everyone, welcome back to another session. So this is week 6. This is actually a topic that is not listed in the book that we have. So the book that we have on Objective-C and iOS programming doesn't talk about scroll views. So we're going to add that into the section. So you should be able to find it in the book. And our previous video with the adding the UI view, turned out that I was using iPhone 8. So actually, if you go back and you use iPhone 7, you'll notice that it works better because for some reason things have changed in iPhone 8, so I have to figure out what those changes are. So this new app is, I'm going to go and click next. This will be my UI scroll bar, I'll call it, and hit next and create. Alright, so first things first, going to come over here, create my controller. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a ability to scroll. The previous applications that we developed were just applications that, whatever content we added on the screen, that was all we could do. Now we're going to show you how to use scrolling on here and how that could play a role. So we have to go down here and find scroll view. There it is. So click on that. Bring it up like we've been doing with everything, and then just make sure it takes over the entire screen. Oops. Perfect. All right, perfect. So we have the scroll view there. Now we can't add anything on here, so we need to add, we'll have to add layers on here. So we'll actually have to add the UI view on here shortly. But what we're going to do is set up a constraint for this. So if you go down here and click this option here, it's kind of hard to see. It's going to, yeah, it won't lose any screen here. So, third option from the left, I think. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's this guy right here. So if you click on this, it says add new constraints. It should show you when you do a tooltip over it. For some reason, it's not coming up. Nonetheless, what you want to do is make sure if you click on these guys, you want to make sure these are all equal up to each other, and then click on add for constraints. So that adds the constraints that we need. And so now we add our constraints and make sure they're even across the board. We need to add the UI view now, because in order for us to put content on here, we're putting the scroll view, which is, think of it as the brains behind it, behind the scenes. In order for all this to work, we have to add the UI view in front of it. So let's see here, 1 second. Let me find UI view. It's down here somewhere. Right, the view right here. So want to bring over the view, do what we've been doing up here, and make sure it takes up the entire screen. Perfect. So now we've added the UI view. We need to come down here and choose this guy right here. And what we want to do is make sure that we choose any missing constraints and see if there's any missing constraints that we missed. So click on add missing constraints. And as you see here, it added this right here. So it picked up this missing constraint that we had. So and then it shows there's a 0.8 here. So let's do this. Alright, so that should be fine. Alright, so that is our missing constraints. Alright, so now let's go and start, since we have this together, let's start adding some objects to the screen. And let's see here. Oops. We'll see if this even more. Let's play this and see what happens. Run this real quick. Even though we have nothing on here, I just want to see what the screen looks like real quick. Should try iPhone 7. Let's see if it messes up. Alright, so just want to make sure that line wasn't there for some reason. Alright, cool. So let's go back to this. So let's add some objects on the screen. So I'll start off with a button. Things that we've already worked with. I'll put it over here. We can stretch it like we've been doing. And I will call it submit. Perfect. Let's add the segmented control down here. Same thing. Split it. All right, and then let's add label up here somewhere. And then, oh geez. And we'll center it, and we'll just keep it labeled for now. So we have, so the idea is, if this works, everything will scroll. So everything will be not on the same page at the same time. All right, so let's add another one. Let's add this switch since we've worked with that one before. Let's just, center it out somewhere. Oops. Oh boy, here we go. Huh. That's bugger. I'll just put him right here in the middle for now. What we're going to do a little bit different with him is we're going to come up here and select this guy right here. So this area is, we could change the dimensions around. And so like if we, like for example, say we put 200 right here, it moves it to the right. If I put 164 here, it moves it to the left. If I put say 440, moves it down. So what we're going to do here is, according to this screen, we're probably like 600-700. Let's try 1,000 and see what happens. All right, so where'd that go? It's down here somewhere. So the idea is to see if the scroll works. Once we once we run it, we'll see if this can actually come down to this and locate that, okay? So now we're gonna add objects to the screen. So we need to add the scroll bar, and since it's kind of going sideways and all this stuff, well, first of all, we need to come here and choose .h before we do anything. Let me try to make some real estate here. It's bigger. You won't see all that because I have it on my screen over here, but that's fine. We just need to see what we need to see. All right, so in order for me to roll the scroll, since it's already put in there, it makes it really difficult. So what I need to do is, you could click on the scroll view here, control, and just drag your object down here. Okay, and then you could just call it, I don't know, I'll call it my scroll view. Perfect, so that allows me to add that feature over here. Okay, so let's get back to this. So let's get back to regular, get rid of that. Oops. Well, I need to pull that back over so you can see it. So let's, whoop, all these, all right, there we go. A little confusing. All right, let's click on this guy here to actions. So if you click on your object, which I have so much real estate now, click on your object, and we want to click on actions here. 1 second. Where is it at? Not this. What am I missing? It's a little different. All right, so we need to look at the specifications on there. So if you click on my scroll view, it will change the actions up here. So these are the actions that are available within scroll view, and you could change this just to play around with it. So right now it's default to show horizontal and vertical. So when I'm scrolling up, like when you're on a website and in a screen like this right here, I'm able to go up and down. This right here, I'm able to go side to side. So that's already on there. You want to show that. Now see, to me personally, when using, I think Chrome is my favorite browser, but sometimes when I'm scrolling up and down, that thing disappears. It makes it very difficult for me to find it unless you know the controls on the keyboard. Scrolling is enabled, it's already enabled. You could change this information. You could bounce on a scroll up and zip down. So you could change all these things right here. We'll just see what this looks like first. So this is just the default of this. So let's go into the code. And so normally when we did everything, we've always started off with view did load, because view did load is the way that the program loads. But since this is a little bit different, we're using a scroll bar, you have to use a different feature. So let's come down here, a different function per se. So I'm going to come down here and do a minus void, and then we're going to do view did appear, and Boolean animate it, true or false. So we'll come down here, and then we'll enter in self, like we did a million times. Name of your scroll. Mine was my scroll view. I'll do space, set content size. So we want to set the size, and we want to inherit not CG size. We want to inherit the CG size MIG. So just see, there we go. So the other one we didn't want because it's just one size. This one allows us to use horizontal and vertical based off the values. So you could change these values around. You could change it to, if you want to be negative 200 to see what happens, but we'll just start off at 1500. But these values right here are values that will, allow you to scroll in the certain direction that you want. So let's see if this works. Yes, please stop. All right, so one good thing is it succeeded. Let's see if it actually works. All right, it does. So you have to click on the left side of your mouse. You have to click on it and scroll up and down, because, or if you have this tied to your phone. So if you, and we didn't really talk about this, but if you tie your phone to your computer, USB, whatever the case is, you can set up a developer license, and then any app that we develop in the class will go to your phone, and you could test it real good. So this right here is kind of, when we didn't set any functionality for this, so, but the idea was to be able to turn this on and off. Now what you can do is, we could come over here and change this value around a little bit. So let's make it, instead of 1500, because 1500 has to go all the way to the bottom. So you remember we set that guy down to 1000. So let's do like 800 and see what happens. What probably will happen is we won't be able to get to the bottom to see the switch, because the size of the screen only covers so much, but I could be wrong. See, it only goes down to 800. And if you remember, we set our, let's go back here real quick. We set this guy way down here. So we set the switch too far down so it can't reach the screen. So this is just an example of how we use scroll view within iOS development. Like I said, it wasn't in the book, so I thought it was important to provide it, because this allows more content on the screen for whatever purpose that you're trying to do. So way back in the day when HTML was new, like back in the 90s, if you notice, a lot of the website pages were all scroll all the way down. You just kept going down and down, and there was basically, no sub pages. So it's kind of like that, but it gives you that feature. So thanks for watching. If you have any questions, you know how to get in touch with me. Thanks. Good day.